Home Hardware or Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Beautiful night here in Toronto. The roof at Rogers Center is wide open after a rainy night last night. Mike Scioscia's team lost in extra innings, a 3-2 heartbreaker in the 10th as their playoff hopes are diminishing quickly. Take a look at the lineup for the Angels, 83-70 for the season. Peter Borges moves to the leadoff spot. He's got great speed and the ability to bunt and get on base. Alberto Callaspo starts at third. Howie Kendrick's been their best hitter all season long. Torrey Hunter, Mark Trumbo, and Vernon Wells, middle of the order. The rookie Mike Trout, very similar to Brett Laurie in his athleticism. Eric Ibar's the shortstop, and Bobby Wilson for a second consecutive night is behind the plate.
Tonight's starting pitcher is brought to you by Icy Hot. Paint is no match for the Icy Hot patch. Brett Cecil will take the mound for the first time in 11 days after cutting his index finger in the clubhouse in Boston last Wednesday. Brett was much better his last time out to the mound. He threw 7 2/3 innings of 2-run ball and struck out a season-high 9 batters. He was outpitched, though, by Jeremy Guthrie of the Orioles as the Jays were shut out 2-0. He has made 2 starts this year versus Los Angeles. His ERA is inflated, but he's pitched well at times versus the Angels.
Defense behind Brett Cecil had a busy night last night with a lot of ground balls on the infield. It was Thames, Erasmus, and Bautista in the outfield last night. That's the same lineup tonight. Mike McCoy and Kelly Johnson up the middle. Brett Laurie, Edwin Encarnacion at the corners. JP Arancibia back behind the plate to handle Brett Cecil here tonight.
Mike McCoy, what a job he did in last night's game. I had stars next to 3 of his plays the first 3 innings, making great plays. He had 6 assists in last night's ball game. Gets the start again with Escobar now on the DL.
Escobar missed 8 games and he was DL'd this afternoon. First pitch is in there for a strike to Peter Borges. Borges always looking around on the infield to see if there might be a bunt opportunity. Pulls it foul.
Angels lead the major leagues in bunt hits with 41 of them. When you've got the type of offense that they have, a lot of speed, a lot of hit and run, they don't hit a ton of home runs, but they can manufacture runs with the best of them.
They are 10th in the American League in runs scored. They have scored 4.1 runs per game, and that is 10th in the American League, so they have to manufacture runs. That's Cecil. Blows one by Peter Borges. First strikeout of the night.
Good start for Brett Cecil. Let's take a look at the scouting report brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. Standing tall. That's what he needs to do when he is on the mound. I think that'll help him get his arm swing up and get him on top of that baseball. He threw a harder curveball his last time out. That was the 9 career season-high strikeouts for Cecil's last time out. First pitch strikes are always important. His last time out, 19 of 30 first pitch strikes versus Baltimore. He threw 100 pitches, Buck, in that game, 70 of them for strikes.
Misses with the first pitch to Alberto Callaspo, starting at third. There's a base hit into right field. Bautista over to cut it off. Rasmus cuts in front of him and gets it back. Brett Cecil has been pretty good of late. John Farrell, the manager, he was a pitcher and a pitching coach, and he understands what Brett Cecil does when he's good.
When he has been attacking the strike zone, particularly down, I know we've talked about this many times and what makes him so successful. When he throws the ball on that downhill plane that he can create with his arm slot, his changeup is that much more effective. He uses curveball and the slider effectively as well. And as we saw last night with Ricky, when you've got multiple pitches for strikes at different points in a given count, you've always got the hitter on the defensive.
Well, you've got to stay ahead, pitch down in the bottom of the strike zone, and then you create a swing mentality. And then your second and third pitches become very effective.
I guess the next question is, well, how do you get the ball down in the strike zone consistently? And I think for Brett Cecil, it's pausing just a little bit more over the rubber. It's called gathering yourself as your body catches up to your lower half, and when he does that and he creates that downward play where the hand is on top of the baseball instead of on the side, that's when he is really good. It makes his changeup and his curveball that much better.
He's behind 3-0. I think he got a little bit unnerved when he slipped on the mound. Throwing the first pitch to Howie Kendrick. He looks to be tentative now as he's driving toward the plate. Howie Kendrick, he has become their best hitter, hitting at .288, 18 homers, 61 RBI, and he's just one of those guys that has had a consistent season. Kendrick hit a home run back in April off of Brett Cecil. Pitched down and in. It was an 0-2 pitch that Cecil really didn't locate very well, and Kendrick hit a first inning home run.
He was off a slider, and that's really not his go-to pitch. Then he didn't really set it up. It was 3 straight pitches down and in, and Kendrick was ready for it.
This time looks like the changeup, and a good one, and Kendrick strikes out. That's 2 strikeouts for Cecil here in the first.
That might be his best pitch right there. The changeup thrown in a good spot at a good time. As Kendrick swings right through the top of that. He's got a curveball also that much better his last time out. It was a little bit harder against Baltimore. 9 strikeouts, which was a season high, and in that game he didn't give up a home run.
Torrey Hunter takes the first pitch strike. Hunter wasn't so sure about that. A little look back to Brian Runge, the home plate umpire. You mentioned not giving up a home run last time out. In his previous 8 starts, he had given up a home run in each of those 8 starts.
He would be like rolling right along in those starts and making quality pitches, and then he'd just make one mistake and the batters would hit it out of the ballpark. One of the guys who took him deep in those starts is standing at the plate.
Torrey Hunter hit a high fastball out of the ballpark right here at Rogers Center back in August. Hunter's in a hole. Pops this back out of play. There's a fine line when you try to elevate a pitch to a guy like Torrey Hunter. He's worn out the Blue Jays all season long. His second home run of the season came last night against Ricky Romero.
Pitch that was in the middle of the plate. So you see the numbers that Hunter 11 for 27 versus the Jays, a couple of home runs. The home run he hit off of Brett Cecil was a 2-0 fastball that was up. Now he's in a little bit more of a defensive mode, being behind 0-2.
Looks like another curveball from Brett Cecil. How about that? He strikes out the side in the first, gives up a 1-out single and nothing more. Torrey Hunter has a tough time with Brett Cecil. He is now 2 for 13 against the Jays lefty. Good game last night there. Extra inning win, 3-2 over the Angels. McCoy Thames Bautista, top of the order, Encarnacion. He's playing at first base tonight. Kelly Johnson, Brett Laurie, they move up in the order. Colby Rasmus, JP Arancibia, and tonight the DH is Adam Lowen.
That's the lineup that Joel Pinheiro will face as he looks to rebound from a rough outing when he lasted just 3+ innings. And that was a 6-3 loss to the Oakland A's, in which he gave up 5 runs in that game. Pinheiro spent a little time in the bullpen recently. And since that stint, he's made 4 starts going 1-1 with an ERA just over 5. This will be his first start against the Blue Jays this season.
Pinheiro overall making his 11th career start, his 19th career appearance. Mike McCoy, boy, what a good job he's done filling in for Yunel Escobar. We mentioned Escobar had missed 8 games, including this one, and now he's been disabled. So McCoy will get most of the starts at shortstop, and he has certainly answered the call defensively. A little tough go with the bat of late, but that's to be expected.
This is his 43rd start of the season. He's made 10 at second base, 5 at third base. This is his 12th at shortstop. He has had 1 in right field, 1 at DH, 14 in center field. So you get my drift. It's a guy who's been playing all over the diamond, and it's very tough to get into a rhythm at a shortstop. It's a very prime position at shortstop when you're all over the diamond. You got to bring all kind of gloves to the ballpark. You got to get an extra some work. But McCoy, since he's been playing there on a regular basis, has looked pretty good at short.
Looks very comfortable and at ease, and I know he feels much better knowing that he's going to be in the lineup every day. Full count. Rips it into center field. Mike McCoy worked the count, got a pitch up in the zone, and hammered it into center.
Good start by the Blue Jays here with McCoy's single. Let's take a look at the scouting report for Joel Pinheiro. He's got the above-average fastball with some good sink to it. The drop is a pitch that his father taught him when he was a little kid. They used to call it a drop back where he was from, and that got a good curveball. The ball's in play. 55 strikeouts, 36 walks, lots of contact when Pinheiro's on the mound.
Eric Thames. It's a start against Pinheiro. Boy, Thames had a good at bat in last night in the 10th inning against Scott Downs, the left-hander. He hung tough. Got a base hit after Eric Ivor committed an error to start the inning. And that really put the Blue Jays in a great position.
John Farrell was talking about that at bat today around the batting cage. Probably the biggest at bat of the night. The way he was able to battle Scott Downs, who's been great all season long, and very good against left-handed batters. He battled him, got a pitch that he could handle, and hammered it into center field to get the winner going.
Scott Downs, a veteran, made some good pitches, and the 5-man infield couldn't cut down the winning run at the plate. There's a strike. 1-2. Joel Pinheiro started his career with the Seattle Mariners. Came up to the big leagues for the first time in 2000. Went from AA to AAA, ended up in Seattle for 8 games, including 1 start. That ball was hit on the line to right, and Mike Trout missed it. That ball looked like it got in the lights. He was battling it the whole way. The rookie Mike Trout, playing for a first time here at Rogers Center, got handcuffed by that hard line drive. Looked like it got up in the bank of lights.
Taking over for a 9-time Gold Glove winner, Torrey Hunter, in right field, and that is the play the corner outfielders have a lot of trouble with, especially if you've never played here. That line drive right at the right fielder or the left fielder. It gets up in that bank of lights, and it just doesn't come down. It just sits up there. You're praying as the outfielder to get that ball out of the lights where you can pick it back up. That's what they're looking up into. And the line drive stays right in that bank of lights. You just can't see it.
Eric Thames was given a base hit on that play because it was lost in the lights, and the first 2 reach on base hits for Jose Bautista. McCoy at second, Thames at first. And that's a backup breaking ball that just spun over the heart of the plate.
File that one away and think about that. If he comes back with that same pitch later in the ball game, you're ready for it.
Not much of a stop there, as Pinheiro just kind of made a little bit of a hesitation, trying to keep an eye on the base runners, making sure they don't get a big jump. Pulled to third. Callaspo to second for 1. Another bobble by Howie Kendrick. That's what happened to him. Same play last night. Bautista hit a ball to the third baseman. Kendrick dropped it in a very similar fashion.
Same participants involved in that play, just like in the last inning last night. McCoy was at second. Thames was at first. Bautista was on at the dish. He hits a ground ball to third baseman. Howie Kendrick just can't get the transfer down as he tries to reach into his glove. He knows that he should have made that play.
Last night it factored into the winning run scoring. Meiser Asturias was at third last night. Asturias has a great arm, but made a tough throw. That one wasn't a problem at all. He just dropped it. Edwin Encarnacion with runners at the corners and one out. The average is good for Encarnacion over his last 15 games. But boy, he's had a lot of opportunities to drive in runs. He's had the bases loaded in several situations over the course of this homestand.
You hit behind Jose Bautista, there's a good chance that you're going to come up with runners on base. As teams choose not to pitch to Jose, the guy behind him becomes so important. Adam Lind had a good game a couple of days ago with a couple of home runs, and now it's Edwin Encarnacion's turn to drive in some runs.
Bouncing ball past Callaspo in the left. McCoy comes in to score. Encarnacion picks up the RBI. The Blue Jays with an early 1-0 lead.
That's what you got to do when you've got guys on base. Expand just a little bit and be ready to drive them in. Piñeiro's going to try and mess with you. Try and get that curveball where you bounce it into the dirt. That time he does, but it makes its way through the left side. 1-0 Blue Jays.
We've talked about the Angels defense, and when you really look at it, they're okay. But boy, they have missed a lot of opportunities, even the play in right field. The rookie Mike Trout lost the ball in the lights. That should have been a routine out. Then they had a chance for the double play to get out of the inning. And because of that, those missed opportunities, the Blue Jays have scored here in the first.
Callaspo might have had a shot at that ground ball also. At least knock it down and try and get it out somewhere. They came into the game yesterday, the Angels, third in the American League in fielding percentage, and those errors that they made yesterday cost them 3 unearned runs.
Yeah, I think fielding percentage is the most difficult statistic to really get a grip on. You don't know about how limited the range is of the infielders. Maybe they're not getting the balls they should, so their fielding percentage will be higher. Kelly Johnson drives this ball to left. Vernon Wells circling under it. Bautista halfway. And he will go back to second. Second out of the inning.
You know, I agree with you about that, because the only thing that fielding percentage tells you is if they made the play or not. Doesn't tell you. Well, we see it every day now since Brett Lawrie playing third base. That guy covers more ground than 3 guys that we had here earlier at third base. He just gets to more balls.
He has explosive range and great first step quickness. He bats now with 2 on and 2 outs. That breaking ball is spinning on the inner half of the plate. Nero's been able to get away with it so far. This ball is popped into right field. Mike Trout doesn't have to deal with the lights on this play. Makes the catch, but the Blue Jays take advantage of some defensive lapses, and an RBI single by Edwin Encarnacion has given them a 1-0 lead.
finishing where his glove is on the right. He just doesn't clear that right side. The glove is up around his right shoulder. He just isn't able to get out and finish, and the ball hangs up high in the strike zone. Tonight, this is in the first inning against Torrey Hunter. He clears that right side, clears that front shoulder. He is able to drive the ball down in the strike zone, and a much better finish to his pitches than we saw earlier in the season.
And a much better result. A home run on the left, a strikeout on the right. First pitch strike to Mark Trumbo. Trumbo had the home run last night in the 5th inning. A solo shot off Ricky Romero.
What a year he has had. Forget about the average at 257. He is producing for the Angels.
Hit it to Mike McCoy. Chances are you're going to be out. McCoy has played very well defensively. We talk a little bit about the glove placement. How can that impact where the ball ends up when you get it into the strike zone?
What you want to do is you want to clear your front side, and if your glove is in the way, you just can't finish. It kind of locks you, so you've got to get your shoulder through, and you got to finish so you can finish out top. And that's what I mean about staying on top and getting finish on your pitches. If you're here and it locks you, the ball's going to tend to stay up in the strike zone.
Don't have any room to rotate all the way through your delivery, and you'll leave it up in that danger zone. 1 out, Vernon Wells. Wells had a double off the wall in center field in last night's game. He also had a single in. He was 2 for 4 for the night. That double came in the 10th inning, but Casey Jansen was able to strand Wells at third. This ball is high and deep to left field. Eric Thames gives it a look at the wall. This ball is gone. Vernon Wells with a home run, his second here at Rogers Center against the Blue Jays this year, number 23 on the season. And just like that, we are tied at 1 apiece.
One swing of the bat by Vernon Wells gets the Angels even. And it looked like a pitch, an off-speed pitch that, again, stayed up in the strike zone, right in the swing plane of Vernon Wells. He likes the ball inner half, and he's always been a very good high ball hitter. That's just where he likes it, and no chance of that ball coming back.
Mike Trout, the 20-year-old rookie, after Wells has tied it up with the home run. Oh, and 2. Trout's pretty interesting. He was a 25th pick overall in the 2009 draft by the Angels. Pops this ball into center field. Colby Erasmus over Bautista calling for it. And he'll make the catch. Trout's retired, 2 down.
Heard about Mike Trout now since the day he signed. The great physical tools that he has. He can really run. He's got power. Just 20 years old. He's got 5 home runs in the big leagues. It's a name you're going to be hearing a lot of.
Angels are pretty pleased with his rapid ascension through the minors. Eric Ibar drops down to the 8th spot in the lineup tonight. Ibar is 0 for 9 against Brett Cecil. Ibar's having a good season. Brett Cecil, we talked about inside the numbers how Cecil has pitched much better than his 1-loss record. And I think he really kind of forgot about the concerns over velocity, and he's more concerned about location. Popped into the air and foul.
I know that's what everybody talked about at the beginning of the season, his lack of velocity, but it was more about lack of command. Tonight he's only thrown 4 balls out of the strike zone so far, and it's early. The quality of pitches, that's what you're looking for. Where are the pitches? Not how fast they are. Where they are, how deceptive you can be also as you mess with the timing of those hitters.
He has all the weapons. It's just a matter of pitching ahead and getting to a point where it can utilize them. There's a ball bounced in the dirt. Cecil, like Ricky Romero, has used his curveball a little more frequently here the last 4 or 5 starts. The league picked up very quickly that they both have great changeups. Ricky Romero made the adjustment very effectively against the Red Sox and threw them more curveballs.
Late in the count, too. Get ahead with your fastball, get ahead with something else, and then get them out with the changeup. What you don't want to do a lot of times pitching and you get ahead like that is get them back into the count. That's one thing that pitchers try and stay away from. If you're ahead 1-2, you want to make a pitch where it's not 2-2, or you go back to 3-2. The advantage, I think, then goes back to the hitter. When you are ahead like that and then you lose that advantage.
You see the top tier of pitchers, when they get a batter, especially down in the order 0-2, they're trying to finish him off on the next pitch. That's when a hitter is most vulnerable. Full count. He walked. A 2-out walk to the number 8 hitter. This is the final Tuesday at home here at Rogers Center for the season. It's Blackberry Tweeting Tuesdays. Follow Blue Jays on Twitter at twitter.com/Blue Jays. Answer Blue Jay trivia and win prizes. Submit your questions on Twitter to @BlueJays, and we could choose yours as the Twitter question of the game. The Blue Jays currently have 63,000 Twitter followers, so sign on board. Blackberry Tweeting Tuesdays. Bobby Wilson, the catcher, in the 9th spot. Wilson went 0 for 3 last night with a strikeout. He's not in there for his bat. He's in there because he can really catch.
And throw, call a good game, save his pitcher some strikes.
Boy, Cecil does a good job of shutting down the running game. Only been 3 attempts against him all year. And 1 successful. Ibar's good. 88% success rate. Got a bigger lead now. Cecil didn't like the fact that he had a foot on that artificial surface and he just waited him out.
He had a huge lead, a little bit different than the pitch before. He didn't have just 1 foot on that carpet. He had half a body.
It's even bigger now. There he goes. He got a good jump. Change up. Arancibia. Good throw. Right on the money. J.P. Arancibia has really improved his throwing in the second half of the season. He threw a strike right on the bag at second to gun down Eric Ibar and end the inning. Plus, it was a changeup. you can win amazing prizes from Sharp, including Canada's largest LCD TV, 70-inch Sharp Aquas. Enter online and hit a home run with Sharp.ca. Sharp makes bigger, better. A spectacular night here at Rogers Center. Jose Bautista continues to be a player coach, if you will, trying to help out everybody. If he sees something from a pitcher, he's going to pass it on to his teammates.
He is in the game, isn't he? I mean, he never stops thinking baseball. I don't think I have seen him give away one at bat this year.
Hobie Erasmus, that's a fair ball. That'll go all the way down into the corner and right. Erasmus is headed for second base, and he'll get there with a leadoff double here in the second.
Good sign when Colby Erasmus has that leg kick timed up with the pitcher. He becomes a very dangerous breaking ball hitter. You see the high leg kick, and he just waits for that ball to break right into his bat. Keeps his leg back, keeps his weight back, keeps his hands back, and that was picture perfect swing on a curveball.
J.P. Arancibia, who had a clutch hit in last night's game. Arancibia, a 2-run, 2-out opposite field single to right. That put the Blue Jays on top 2-1 in bottom of the fourth.
Swinging the bat just a little bit better here in the last few weeks. And I asked him today, I said, are you doing anything different? Does it feel any different? He said, I'm just doing the stuff that makes me, that I was doing earlier in the season that makes me get ready. And I said, well, what do you mean? He says, I'm starting my swing just a little bit earlier, helping with his balance at the plate.
Sounds like the old Jose Bautista formula.
Yeah.
So Bautista did at the end of the 2009 season, just got into a habit of starting his swing the entire process just a little bit earlier. Strike right at the bottom of the strike zone.
You can tell players that are starting to swing the bat really well. They are balanced at the plate. There's not a lot of extra movement. When they swing, they're balanced. See a lot of that in JP right now.
Two-seam fastball. Arancibia cut right over the top of it. That's a pitch that Joel Pinheiro picked up when he went to the Cardinals. Pitching guru Dave Duncan always trying to create some movement. Gave Pinheiro a two-seam fastball, and it really became a good pitch for him. Arancibia walks first and second, nobody out.
When Pinheiro first came up with Seattle, he threw a lot harder and had a lot more movement on his pitches. And now he doesn't throw as hard. He's got to stay down in the strike zone and mix things up. You see, he's got that split grip that he will use when he is taking the sign. That's where he gets a lot of his movement also.
Adam Lowen is the DH tonight. He is batting ninth. Another chance for John Fair to get Lowen some at bats. Ground ball off the end of the bat. Howie Kendrick bobbles it. Lowen is out at first. Well, you can see now the Angels are very tentative in the field. They've kicked it around pretty good in the first two games of this series.
And again, 3 unearned runs in last night's game. They couldn't turn a double play in the first inning, and now Kendrick had thoughts, I think, of spinning around and keeping the double play in order by trying to get that runner at second base on this turf. And I guess they're not used to playing on this type of surface. That one comes up, hits him in the wrist, and he can only get one out at first.
Mike McCoy back top of the order. Runners at second and third, one out. McCoy singled into center. It's another reason why you can discount those fielding percentages. Kendrick bobbled that ball that allowed both runners to move up, but there's no air on the play. There's no air on the drop double play ball.
And they don't have a stat of plays that should have been made yet.
Managers have one. Managers have a mental stat sheet on those plays that should have been made. Mike Scioscia said last night in the 10th that Asturias gave Kendrick a tough throw. And he made the comment too that Meiser Asturias has a very accurate arm. But last night he handcuffed the second baseman.
Yeah, something was up with the Angels in the last night game. They're a lot like the Minnesota Twins over the last 10 or so years. They just don't beat themselves. They play good defense and they get great pitching.
2-1. Boy, fouls it back. Little extra from Pinheiro there, and he just elevated that fastball. Well, you're right. When you think of a Mike Scioscia team, you think of a very tightly played defense, fundamentally sound, and a team that doesn't beat themselves very often. I mentioned Pinheiro spending time in St. Louis, and Dave Duncan really does a great job of preparing his starters, giving them a game plan. You can see Pinheiro try to go a little bit higher with that last fastball to McCoy. Broken bat, little dribbler to second. Kendrick throws to first, but the Blue Jays take the lead. Talk about the defense. It's not so much the errors, it's the plays that aren't made.
That are not made. This is the play that you were talking about. The throw's a little offline. It could have been a double play, and then the play that ended the game. That's Torrey Hunter, who came in from the outfield, just can't make the play at the plate. Trout loses the ball in the line. Here's another play where it could have been a double play. They could only get one. And then this one here just set up the run that just scored as Kendrick bobbled it again.
One of the hardest things to do is get a grip on just how good or how bad a defensive team is.
And the Angels are a good defensive team. They've got athletes all over the diamonds. They can make the play, but for some reason, the last couple of nights, it just hasn't happened for them.
Well, and it gets magnified as well when your team's only averaging 4.1 runs per game. If the Boston Red Sox make a mistake like that, they fell behind last night in the first inning by 3 runs. Bottom of the first, 4 runs scored. You don't even think about problems on defense.
Something that happened back in the first inning after you score 18 runs like the Red Sox did last night.
Pinheiro elevates a fastball and strikes out Eric Thames, but the Blue Jays again taking advantage of the infield defense to take a 2-1 lead. The 09 season, the ERA over 5. It got a little bit better last year, but boy, look at his last 13 starts. A very impressive 3.50 ERA.
Not counting the first 5 this year or his time in the minor leagues as he made the mechanical adjustments, and it's starting to pay off. You can see the earned run average has gone down. The whip has gone all the way down to 1.1. Opponent's batting average at 230. We did this with Ricky Rivero in last night's game to show you the progression of young pitchers. And Bruce Walton made that known to me today also that look at some of these young pitchers. They only have 40, 50, maybe 60 career starts, which is not a lot. And you're starting to see the improvement. It takes 3 years sometime to get that type of improvement in the big leagues.
Very few starting pitchers have a straight line progression to develop into top-notch starters. There are always some setbacks. Bobby Wilson lifts one down the right side. That's deep, but foul, just out of play into the seats. Wilson was at the plate when J.P. Arancibia threw out Eric Ibar to end the second.
History in baseball is just littered with pitchers who have come up and they've been touted as these superstars, the next, whatever, and they hit bumps in the road. They have to go back down, or they just can't figure it out. It takes them 2, maybe 3 times going down to the minor leagues before they figure it out. Remember Randy Johnson? Remember the
big tall guy, right?
Yeah. He was with Montreal, and everybody kept talking about how great he is, and he came up. He couldn't throw a strike. It took him a while to figure it out.
There have been many of those situations. Bobby Wilson stays alive. I don't know how he hit that, but he kept it in play. You can see his last 18 games hitting just 195, but then again, that's what he's hit for his season.
I don't know how, you're right, how he hit it or hit it squarely. Ball rockets into the stands and over the dugout.
0-2. Fouls one off the other side. I'll give you a couple of examples of guys that got off to slow starts. Vernon Wells is listening to our broadcast right now, making sure we don't say anything about him. Another 0-2 pitch. Bounced in the dirt. How about Sandy Koufax? Couldn't throw a strike early in his career. Chris Woodward, Vernon Wells, former teammates. Vernon getting on Woody a bit. How about Warren Spahn? Took him a long time to get started in his career. Bobby Wilson, short hop by Laurie. Look at that throw. I'm telling you what, folks, for a guy that the club was concerned about defensively, he has a very good internal clock. He knew the catcher was running on this play.
So he had to knock it down, keep it in front of him, and then make the play. Gather yourself, get your legs underneath you, and throw a strike across the diamond. You don't need to worry about Brett Lowry playing defense. He can certainly do that.
Peter Boyd just bunts it. Arancibia grabbed it quickly and throws a strike. Boy, that was a heads-up play. Arancibia saw the ball spinning and grabbed it before it had a chance to get into foul ground.
He's got a fraction of a second to decide if he's going to field this ball. If he lets it go, it probably goes foul. But he makes the right choice because he is on it. He pounces on it as soon as the ball's out in front, and he goes, I can get this guy. And it makes a good play.
His catching has improved dramatically.
Yep.
And we knew it'd take some time. Even when you look at a stat like pass balls, he's got 12 pass balls for the season, but only 4 in the second half. Changeup lifted down the right side, and that's going to reach the seats.
You were talking about him catching and throwing a lot better. Now 10 for 29 after he caught Ibar to end the second inning. He's got quicker feet. He told me that his transfer from his glove to his hand, that's what they've been working on, and he is much better at that. That 10 for 29 in the second half, about 30%.
Curveball. And it was a foul, chip into the dirt. Yeah, no, JP has worked very hard to improve his defensive skills, and Don Wakamatsu, the bench coach, has worked with him to give him some ideas about quickening up his footwork. Alberto Callaspo is Tough to strike out. He's the third hardest to strike out in the American League. There's Wakamatsu that has really put in a lot of hard work with J.P. Arencibia. Ball is hit down the left field line. That ball is off the wall. Thames plays it very well. His throw is a little bit short of the cutoff man, and Callaspo delivers a 2-out double. Boy, he tommyhawked that pitch. It was up, and he got to it and drilled it off the wall and left.
You know, we've been talking about some of the other teams that come in here and seem to get a hit every single time up. Here's another one. Callaspo in his career over 300 now versus the Blue Jays. He singled his first time up and then legs this one out down the left field line for his second hit.
First pitch changeup. Kendrick goes after. Howie Kendrick batting third in this batting order. No Bobby Abreu tonight. Abreu normally hits second, and they have jockeyed Howie Kendrick all over in the batting order. Another good changeup. That's what happens. John Farrell mentioned it earlier. When you make quality pitches down in the zone for strikes, then the curveball, the changeup, the cutter all become much more effective.
And you start seeing those batters offering at him, trying to swing at him, thinking that they can get to him. As he try and go back there three times in a row.
Curveball up in the zone. I'm not a big fan of throwing breaking ball strikes to good hitters. Breaking balls that are in the zone with 2 strikes. You can speak to a hitter's mentality with 2 strikes.
Well, they're in, you know, spread out just a little bit more. They don't want to strike out. They're in 2-strike mode, just trying to survive. That's a better idea right there. That high fastball, something up and out of the strike zone. Set up your next pitch.
Well, he's been pounding the strike zone tonight. That's as good a ratio as he's had at any start this year.
Yep. First pitch strikes. 0-2, I would want to throw the pitch that I have the best command of because I don't want to make a mistake.
High and deep to right. Bautista on the run. Down in the corner. He can't get it. Bautista slammed up against the wall, and the ball bounces out of play. Callaspo comes in to score. Back-to-back doubles come with 2 outs here in the third.
And the Angels are going to tie it up once again. 2-strike, 2-out hitting by Howie Kendrick drives it a 62nd run. This is a pitch that's up. Looks like another changeup, and again, it's up around his eyes, and he's able to get on top of it. And it's just off the glove of Jose.
Well, that's a perfect example of what we talked about in the open about the value of location as opposed to velocity. Cecil threw that changeup, and again, a 2-strike off-speed pitch when a hitter is trying to be defensive and protect the zone. You've got to throw it down.
Down or off the plate. See if they start expanding their strike zone.
Torrey Hunter, a ball and a strike. Angels have tied it up here with back-to-back 2-out doubles. Callaspo to the left field wall. Howie Kendrick down the right field side. Romero last night in the ball game had that 2-seam fastball working so effectively. Everything he did was leading to ground ball outs. Sinking fastball was good. Changeup was good. There's a good changeup, and Hunter got a piece of it to stay alive. Then later on in the game, Ricky Romero started bringing the curveball into the mix, and that got him some strikeouts late in the game.
And it got him deep in the game. He threw 9 innings last night. Came oh so close to win number 16. Blue Jays had a chance to win it in the bottom of the 9th inning. That would have given Romero that 16th win. It's come a long way.
Taking his game to the next level. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Torrey Hunter struck out on a curveball to end the first inning. Hunter's just 2 for 13 against Brett Cecil. Howie Kendrick with the RBI double. Stands at second. Well, that was close to being a fair ball. Torrey Hunter thought it was going to be foul by a wide margin. It looked like it bounced right on the foul line down at third.
Didn't even get out of the batter's box. And that came very close to clipping the edge of that bag at third base.
Just a matter of inches. And Hunter just stood in the batter's box. He felt like it was going to be way foul. Full count to Torrey Hunter. Mark Trumbo is on deck. Trumbo's got a lot of power. Kendrick at second. He tied the game up with the double. Another breaking ball. This one pulled wide of third as well.
Hunter has had a good year against the Blue Jays this year. A couple of home runs, hitting over 400 against them.
Right now he's in a battle against Brett Cecil. Cecil and Aaron Sebia trying to figure out where to go. Took too much time for Torrey Hunter. And Sebia wants to start over with another series of signs. There goes Kendrick. Ball is up and away. Kendrick steals third. Hunter walks.
Jays on Rogers Sportsnet. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
2-2 ball game here. Bottom and top of the third inning. Mark Trumbo grounded to shortstop in his previous at bat. Outside. Torrey Hunter, I don't think he's going to be running in this situation with Cecil having trouble in this inning commanding the strike zone. I could just let Mark Trumbo hit here.
Well, you don't want to be running into any outs. That's not to say that Hunter's going to get thrown out trying to steal, but you want this big guy swinging the bat.
2-0. Aaron Sebia is going to take a trip to the mound.
Talk about it just a little bit with Cecil. Fastball command has not been there. Throwing a lot of changeups here early in the game, and I think the Angels have caught on to that.
We mentioned he is throwing a lot of strikes, but right now the Angels have shown a lot more patience. They're going to force him into the strike zone. Kendrick at third, Hunter at first. 1 run in. And ball in the dirt. 3-0. It all started with 2 outs and nobody on.
Couple of strikes to Calespo. He doubled. Kendrick had a 2-strike double to drive him in. Hunter walks. Now Trumbo probably has the green light, 3-0.
You bet he does. With that kind of power, you want him thinking. Do some damage.
Pick out a fastball. See how far you can hit it.
He's seen 3 pitches in this at bat. He's got a good feel for the velocity. 3-0 pitch. Off speed pitch. 3-0 changeup. Little unusual.
I think everybody was thinking along the same lines that Mark Trumbo was going to try and put 3 runs on the board.
Going to throw another one. Hammered to left field. That'll get down for a base hit. Howie Kendrick comes in to score. Torrey Hunter is going to third. The throw goes to second. They've got Trumbo hung up. Now they've got him in a rundown, and Encarnacion lets him get away. Oh my! They had him dead to rights in a rundown. All they got to do is focus on Trumbo, but Hunter, the veteran at third, got the attention of Encarnacion and distracted him and allowed Trumbo to get back to first.
Yeah, he was dead over there at first base. He had a wide turn. He was thinking about making 2 on it, but Thames gets the ball in very quickly. Heads up play by Johnson, checks the runner very quickly. Now you close the gap right here. You make 1 throw and tag him out. The inning's over. But Encarnacion hesitated just a little bit just to check that runner, and that was all the time that Trumbo needed to get back to the bag. Right there, just go tag him.
Now you see, Trumbo is not out for going out of the base path because Encarnacion didn't make an attempt to tag him. So he just made a big wide turn and went back to first. Encarnacion was looking over at third to keep an eye on Torrey Hunter. And the Angels have taken the lead, all with 2 outs. And Vernon Wells homered his last time up. John Farrell looking at the Angels lineup card, saying where he's at in the lineup and what he has available, and Bruce Walton's going to get somebody up and throwing down in the bullpen. Wells drives this one toward the gap, and that's going to split the outfielders and go all the way to the wall and bounce out of the ballpark. Well, the Blue Jays caught a break as Trumbo will be sent back to third base on the ground rule double.
And Vernon Wells is only going to get 1 RBI where it could have been 2 easily. Trumbo could have scored all the way from first base on that extra base hit by Vernon Wells. We talked in the opening about Brett Cecil getting the ball down. He did that in the first inning, struck out the side, but since then everything has been up. Just has not been able to get that ball around the knees, and Vernon Wells smokes that ball to right field. 15th double, another RBI for Wells.
Trying to figure out how they can get somebody up quickly and try to get them out of this inning. 2 outs, 2 ground ball outs. Bobby Wilson was retired on a nice play by Brett Laurie. Then the bunt by Peter Borges. Aaron Seabee had thrown him out. Then double, double, walk, single, double. All with 2 outs. Mike Trout, the rookie, flied to right. Back in the second. It's the 8th man to bat this inning. Third base, the Laurie hadn't broken toward the bag, but he had the reactions to make the catch.
Trying to catch Mike Trumbo sleeping over there. So Pierre and Siva comes out throwing.
No balls and a strike. Trumbo bounces the ball to short. Blue Jays are finally out of the inning, but the Angels score 3, and it all started 2 outs, nobody on. Vernon Wells drives in 2 tonight.
Thank you.
'41st home run yesterday, and they have jumped out on top. A 4-run second inning against Wade Davis. Ivan Nova on the mound for the Yankees has allowed just 1 run on 3 hits. Blue Jays are down by 2. It has been a sloppy game so far, both sides.
A lot of pitches so far. Not real sharp in the field. Not like last night's game.
Well, that'll happen too when the pitching is kind of pitching from behind. The infielders lose their focus, and all of a sudden you start throwing it around. You lose your concentration, and then all of a sudden somebody hits the ball to you.
Conversely, last night Romero worked very quickly, threw a lot of strikes. How many beautiful plays did we see last night by the defense?
Same with Jerome Williams, a starter for the Angels. Ball hit high and deep into center. Peter Borges makes the catch in front of the warning track in center. But there is no mistaking it. Starting pitching sets the tone for the ball game. Ricky Romero last night came out and got 3 ground ball outs in the first, gave up a home run to Torrey Hunter in the second, 3 more ground ball outs, 3 more ground ball outs in the third, and he was on a roll. Encarnacion fouls this one off his leg. Edwin had an RBI single his first time up. Brett Cecil, things were so promising after a first inning. He struck out the side in the first inning, and then got out of the second in pretty good shape. Gave up a home run to Vernon Wells, but nothing more. We have lost one of the umpires. You see, the umpire at third is now Tim McClellan. He started at second base. Ted Barrett's over at first. Marvin Hudson was at third base. Started this game, and he has left the field, at least for the time being. 0-2. Upstairs, Encarnacion strikes out. 2 quick outs here in the third.
Pinheiro got away with one right there. He wanted to elevate that fastball. He's got a good sinking fastball, and it ended up right in the wheelhouse of Encarnacion. He misses it. I don't know if he was expecting that 0-2 pitch to be right there, but Pinheiro got away with one.
Kevin Johnson takes a curveball for a strike. Kyle Drabeck loosening up down in the Blue Jays bullpen. John Farrell has mentioned they'd like to use Drabeck to start innings and not bring him in the middle of an inning.
As soon as Brett Cecil got the last out, last half inning, Drabeck got up and started throwing.
John Farrell will join us after this half inning, and he will give us his thoughts on this game so far. Kelly Johnson takes a walk. Bring Brett Lawrie to the plate with 2 outs. Lawrie hit a fly ball to right field his first time up. That ended the first inning. See, the league has picked up on the fact that Lawrie takes a lot of first pitches. Just to get an idea what he's dealing with. Obviously, he's getting his first looks at a lot of these pitchers.
So he will take that first pitch a lot of times. And then just recently, they're starting to throw him a few more breaking balls. Said, okay, kid, we can see that you can hit the fastball. 9 home runs, 24 driven in, and just under 150 at bats. Now they're starting to throw him a lot of junk.
Got one to hit there. That slider has stayed a lot on the inner half of the plate. Angels lead at 4-2. We are in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Brett Cecil got off to a promising start. Struck out the side in the first. Base hit into left field for Brett Lawrie. Kelly Johnson makes the turn at second. He'll stop there.
Talked about it in the scouting report for Joel Pinheiro. The ball's in play. There's going to be a lot of balls hit. He doesn't strike out too many. He doesn't walk too many batters. So defense has got to be on its toes when he's on the mound. That was a 2-strike pitch to Lawrie. Not very good.
Not a very good one at all. So Pinheiro's in a jam. Kobe Rasmus had a base hit. Came around to score in the second. Rasmus and Pinheiro were teammates with the Cardinals. So Kobe Rasmus has a pretty good idea what Pinheiro features, having played center field behind him in St. Louis.
Saw how his breaking ball worked, how he liked to throw to left-handed batters. Certainly worked his first time up.
Rasmus hit that double down into the left field corner, leading off the second.
I want to see him do that again, because I want to watch Brett Lawrie run. He's fun to watch when he gets a full head of steam coming around those bases. There's Brett over at first base. He hits another double into the corner right field. That might be fun to watch him circle the bases.
Scored from first base on Saturday on a double by Mike McCoy. When McCoy hit it over the head of Nick Swisher into right field, Lawrie was at first base, and he was the second runner to score. He scored all the way from first. One and two, 2 outs. Fly ball deep to center field. Borges squaring up on it on the warning track, gets there and makes the play. Rasmus is retired. The Blue Jays are retired in the 3rd. They leave a couple of base runners on against Joel Pinheiro. Brett Cecil's night is over. Kyle Drabeck enters the game. He'll work the 4th when we come back. For him, especially in that third inning.
You know what, Buck? It just looked like as he got deeper into some counts against some individual hitters, there were some pitches that were up on the plate. He'd make some quality pitches to get ahead in the count, and then there was a mistake with a fastball up over the plate, whether it was a home run or a double down a left field corner, and just lacked the overall finishing pitch that we've seen from him of late.
Pinheiro has only 2 strikeouts tonight, John. What do you have to do against Pinheiro to get back into this game?
Well, he relies on that sinker so much, and we've got to make sure we get him up in the strike zone a little bit more. But I feel like we put up some good at bats so far, and didn't want to get this game too far ahead of us. We feel like we've got a chance to come back to him, and it's a chance to get Drabek in the game here tonight and get a little bit of extension out of him.
John, thanks for your time.
Okay, guys.
Thanks. That's the manager from the dugout, and Kyle Drabek will make his 3rd relief appearance for the Blue Jays since his recall from AAA, and he's pitched well out of the bullpen.
A little bit here, a little bit there. His last time out was 3 days ago. That was against the Yankees, and they got multiple innings out of Kyle Drabek. 2 innings, he had a walk, he had 3 strikeouts. He had probably his best curveball that we have seen all season long in that last outing versus New York. A lot of called strikes with that curveball.
That was a pitch that he really didn't throw much because he couldn't throw it over. Eric Ibar will step in, and he jumps on the first pitch, and Ibar rips it past Bautista. It'll go to the wall. Ibar is headed for second, and he'll get there with a leadoff double. Ibar's at second, nobody out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Defense is having a tough night all over the league. The Yankees are leading Tampa Bay 4-0. And Baltimore leading the Red Sox 4-1. Ball is bunted back to the backstop and fouled off by the catcher Bobby Wilson. Boy, these are the things that Wilson and players like Wilson, and I was one of those players, so I can speak of this. You've got to get the bunt down in this situation.
It's called the little things. Do all the little things that your manager asks you to do when you get into a ball game. Advance runners with a productive at bat.
And he bunts it to Drabek, and he'll go to first for the out. Wilson does his job. Ibar moves to third.
Pretty good bunt right there. Runner at second base. Just get it down to a good spot and let the speed of Ibar get him over to third base.
And now you have to be on your toes for another bunt. The guy at the plate can really handle a bat. That's Peter Borges. Infield is drawn in. Good speed at third and a good handler of the bat at the plate. Good idea. They start him out with a breaking ball, and Borges chased.
Yeah, he's going to be looking for a first pitch fastball to try and drive in that run from third base. And less than 2 outs. Now as they go through the signs and third base coach goes down and talks to the runner at third, you got to figure something might be up.
Now the breaking ball. Aaron Sebia blocks it very well. Sosha giving signs from the dugout. Dino Ebel relaying the signs and then verbally telling the base runner at third.
There might be a word that the third base umpire, or excuse me, a third base coach will give to that runner in case there is a squeeze on.
And there it is. And Aaron Sebia just missed it. Peter Borges bunted right through the breaking ball. And the Angels steal a run. It was a breaking ball. They called the right pitch, but it looked like Aaron Sebia might have gotten blocked out by the bat. Watch where the bat is. Aaron Sebia blocked it. It kicked too far to his right, and because the runner was coming down on the squeeze, he scores easily.
Yeah, blocked out right there. Yeah, he'll score easily. You'll get that hot word from the third base coach when the squeeze is on. It's certainly the suicide squeeze was on with the Angels, and Ibar is going to score standing. after that pitch handcuffed J.P. Arencibia.
It's ruled a stolen base, and there you see Borges bunts right through it, and Ibar comes in. They steal home and take a 3-run lead. Borges hits the breaking ball into center field. He's aboard. So the Angels, with a leadoff double by Eric Ibar, sacrifice bunt, a steal of home, and now a single. Kyle Drabek just into the ball game.
That's how they do it. Angels rank second in Major League Baseball with 159 infield hits. They lead the majors in bunt hits. They've got 124 stolen bases as a team, so they will manufacture runs, and they go first to third better than anybody in baseball. They just have that reputation of being very aggressive on the bases, and they make you stop them.
They just don't have those big mats that can sit back and wait for a 3-run homer. Alberto Callaspo, a switch hitter, turns around and bats from the first base side of home. He'll hit left-handed. He's had a good night already. 2 for 2 with a double and a run scored. That ball gets by Arencibia. It's a wild pitch charged to Kyle Drabek as he threw that fastball right past the catcher. Arencibia was set up on the outside corner, and that ball was all the way down and in. They got a shot at him, and the ball gets off the glove. Borges didn't see where it was. Now he does, and he moves over to third. Boy, this has been a sloppy night. Drabek had a shot at picking off Borges. McCoy broke in behind the base runner and just slapped the tag down, but the ball went off his glove.
And they had a chance. Great time to put the pickoff play, the daylight play at second base, just after he steals the base. They had the shot, and McCoy, in his haste to get down and try and apply the tag, it goes off of his glove. He'll be charged with the error. McCoy's third of the season, and Borges is able to move up 90 feet.
Now you got to bring the infield in again. Callaspo's going to deliver the runner from third. Colby Erasmus runs it down, but Borges tags and comes in to score. Callaspo gets the job done, taking advantage of the wild pitch and the air.
After the Borges single, Callaspo is going to pick up the RBI number 44 on the season. Tack on runs here and there. Add on, it just makes it tougher as the game wears on.
6-2 Angels. Oh, and 2. You heard from John Farrell that he felt like his club was in striking distance of Joe Pinheiro. That's why he went to Drabek here in the fourth, but the Angels have scored 2. Howie Kendrick gets a base hit on a curveball. Brett Cecil was the starter in this game and had a very good first inning. Struck out the side in the first, gave up a solo home run in the second, but then the wheels fell off with 2 outs in the third.
A double, then another double by Kendrick, a stolen base, a walk, a single, another double. All told, just 3 innings. Gave up 6 hits and 4 runs.
Torrey Hunter, he has struck out and walked so far tonight. Way outside. Drabek started against the Angels on the 8th of April out in Los Angeles. Went 6 innings, allowed 6 hits, 2 runs, just 1 earned run. And he got the no decision in that game.
We drove him to the ballpark that day, remember?
For a while, we thought we were a good luck charm.
Yeah.
Joe Pinheiro, the veteran, been staked to a 6-2 lead. Torrey Hunter based it into right field. Bautista plays it on a couple of hops. Kendrick stops at second. So 4th hit that Drabek has allowed here this inning.
Fastball down and away. Torrey Hunter's made a living doing this, just staying on top of that ball. Didn't get underneath it. Kept the barrel above the ball. That's a line drive to right field. Hunter's been on a couple of times tonight.
First and second, 2 outs. Mark Trumbo. He's already picked up an RBI, his 84th of the season. Long drive left field. Trumbull has just hit a 3-run homer on the first pitch from Kyle Drabek. His 29th home run of the season.
Power plus with Mark Trumbo. And he is a fastball hitter, and he was waiting for that pitch from Kyle Drabek. It's down and in right in the sweet spot. There's only been 3 rookies in Angels history to have 25 home runs as a rookie. The leader of that bunch, Tim Salmon, hit 31 home runs in 1993. Mark Trumbull is now 2 behind him.
For what a rookie season he's had. And he's given the Angels so much more than they anticipated, because you think about it, Kendry Morales was supposed to be the first baseman. Morales couldn't play. Trumbull's become the everyday first baseman. And tonight he's starting for the 138th time, and he has put up big numbers. All for his hometown team. He grew up in Anaheim.
His defense is improving. No question he's got the power. Last year in the Pacific Coast League, he had a bundle of home runs.
Got 29 here in the big leagues with 87 RBI. High fly ball into center. Colby Erasmus on the warning track. Makes the catch. Wells is retired. The inning finally comes to an end. But Mark Trumbo and the Angels jump on Kyle Drabek for 5 runs here in the 4th. Blu-ray player. To enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. Sharp Aquos makes bigger, better. Bobby Abreu doesn't have much to do tonight, so he's going to have a little fun with us. Baseball and bubblegum. Been around forever. J.P. Arancibia pulls that ball to third. Nice play on the short hop by Callaspo. 1 out. Adam Lowen tonight, the DH, will get his second look at Joel Pinheiro.
Yeah, he's got their work cut out for them now against Pinheiro. He's going to come right after him now, I think, with this 7-run lead in the 4th inning. John Farrell was talking about that. He'll use that sinking fastball.
Good quality pitches down in the zone with a little movement.
I don't think he's going to mess around now with this kind of lead. I think he's just going to pump the ball in there and make the Blue Jays try and beat him.
Well, you can go 2-seamer and changeup. That's a good combination. You see, he throws that off-speed pitch with a fork grip, and he wants to make sure he doesn't lose the grip on this game. We peel down to Marvin Hudson, who is back on the field. Hudson left for a half an inning or so. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the 4th inning. For a team that doesn't score many runs, the Angels have had a breakout night. 9 runs on 11 hits so far.
What makes it so tough against this team, they've got the top earned run average in baseball, in the American League at least. The Angels, their bullpen is very deep, well stocked, and well rested. I think you're going to have to hit your way on.
Oh, and pops it out of play. Overall, the Angels are first in ERA. And their combined ERA is very impressive. Problem has been offense for Mike Scioscia's ball club.
They have held their opponents to 1 run or less 39 times this year.
Oh, and gets a piece of it and fouls it off. Well, that's the whole thing. You start thinking about winning, you better start thinking about how you're going to prevent runs. You prevent runs by good starting pitching, tight defense, speed in the outfield, and then you try to piece together the offense.
Already a couple times in this series, we have seen the Blue Jays hit balls into the gaps that look like they're extra bases, and they're run down by those outfielders.
Owen pops it into center field. Easy play for Peter Borges. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Top of the order, Mike McCoy. McCoy has a single. He scored a run. He's also driven in a run. Ball and a strike. McCoy hits this ball to center field. Peter Borges on the run. He's not going to get it. And the ball bounces over the wall in center for a ground rule double. Mike McCoy hit that ball on the line, and it took 1 bounce and went out of play.
Another multi-hit game for Mike McCoy. To get it over the head of Peter Borges, you have to sting it. That's exactly what McCoy does right here. Borges can't run that one down. Bounces over the wall. This is the 8th double of the season for Mike McCoy. Starting to get his timing at the plate. His at-bats have been a lot better.
It really has been coincidental with his increased play. Get a chance to play a little bit, get 4 or 5 at bats a game. Your timing's going to get better, and he's starting to come around.
No question. That double he hit against the Yankees was a thing of beauty. I mean, he drove that ball to right field, and that time he smokes it over the center fielder's head.
Eric Thames fouls it down the left side. Thames has a single so far tonight. September has been a rough month for Eric Thames. A little more information for the pitchers around the league. They have made some adjustments. Coming into this game, Thames hitting just 190 for the month of September.
They'll get game plans and then start watching all the film. And what we have seen teams start to do with 2 strikes, they throw high fastballs up out of the strike zone or get them to chase breaking balls down. Like that. Good patience right there.
Is that the most difficult thing for young hitters, is to learn the strike zone, learn strike zone recognition, what pitches you go after and which ones to lay off?
I think that's a big part of it, but I think young players, when they get to the big leagues, pitchers can set you up and they can work the count and they can work to your weaknesses. You don't see that in the minor leagues. Guy has a good fastball, and you know he'll keep throwing you fastballs. He doesn't have to learn how to set you up or throw pitches where he needs to, or pitches out of the strike zone. Up here, big boy, and they all can do it.
Do you think it's easier for a young pitcher to establish himself in the big leagues or a young hitter?
I think pitching is hard. I really do. I think it all starts and ends right there on the pitching rubber right there.
Wow, Bobby Wilson got hit with the backswing, but that's why he's got that batter's helmet on under his catcher's mask. Thames strikes out. It's all Angels early, 9-2 lead for LA. Now it's time for a Jays Connected update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zorn. Green, welcome to Rogers Center. Hope you're having a great night, and I hope you're thinking about a big comeback. Blue Jays are down by 7. Mike Trout stands in to face Kyle Drabek. Drabek making his 3rd relief appearance since being recalled from AAA Las Vegas.
Been a starter his whole life, all through high school, signs into the minor leagues. Blue Jays now pitching him out of the bullpen. Good thing?
Not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing for Kyle.
I think they just want Kyle to finish up on a real positive note for the season. And until that last inning, things had gone pretty well for him, but they jumped on him for 5 runs on 5 hits. And I think that's why he's back out to this inning as well.
You know, there's no question that his stuff is A+. He's got all the pitches to succeed in the major leagues. He just has to execute them. And we saw that.
It says lifted into right field. Bautista in fair territory, gets there, makes the catch. Cup's retired.
Ricky Romero's like that when he first came up. He had a lot of good stuff. Good changeup, curveball, fastball. You know, all the pitches to succeed, but there's still that little bit of learning curve, I guess, at the big league level, and I think Kyle Drabek is going through that right now.
There's no question there's a huge learning curve. Pitchers can come up. I think pitchers can dominate if they command their pitches, can throw strikes. They can dominate for a while because they control the ball game. You throw strikes with all your pitches, you pitch ahead, and you can get by. Then the hitters start to get information about you. They look at the scouting reports, they watch video, and then the next time you see them, a couple times down the road, start to catch up to you a little bit. Eric Garbar pulls it on the ground. 2 outs here in the 5th. Remember, it's Tweeting Tuesday, and now trivia question. JP Arencibia at JP9 has 23 home runs this season. Which Blue Jays player has the record for home runs by a rookie in one season for the Blue Jays? If you know the answer, send it to @BlueJays.com, and you could win an autographed baseball from JP Arencibia. So who has the rookie record for home runs for the Blue Jays?
Can we tell him the number?
No.
Not the guy, the number.
Not the guy's number?
No. Well, he's got 23. And the record is 24.
Yep.
We can do that
number, yeah, it's 24.
Yeah. I don't remember the guy's number.
Scott Carson remembers the guy's number.
Yeah, he would probably remember.
Yeah. Broken bat. Bobby Wilson is thrown out at first. Drabek has a nice bounce back inning. He has a 1-2-3 5th inning. Blue Jays got some work to do. Magazine, September 29th, featuring stunning photography and in-depth analysis from Canada's top sports journalists, including Shai Davidi, Michael Grange, and Mark Spector. Be the first to get it. Subscribe today at sportsnet.ca/magazine. Jose Bautista 0 for 2. That must be that splitter. It's hard to tell, but it looks like that splitter just kind of sails to the inside part of the plate. There's not a whole lot of downward break to it.
At times it looks like a backup slider. There's a good drop pitch that Pinheiro was taught by his father right there.
The old drop, the overhand 12-6 curveball. Did you have a drop when you were a kid?
I wasn't a pitcher.
You never pitched?
Nope.
Really?
Nope. I threw, I think, combined 4 innings in high school, and that was it.
Generally,
Nope.
never in Little League or nothing, huh?
Nope.
I thought everybody pitched at some point. That ball is inside and a little soft pop-up to shortstop. Ibar makes the catch. Nick Thames with same disappointment, and it's like, how can they continue to get me out? I'm getting myself out. It's just frustrating, and that's the way this game is.
Yeah. Been there, done that.
It'll make you cry. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you shake your head. We've both been there and done that.
Humbling. It's a humbling game. And you know what you have to learn as a young player? It's a game of failure.
Bouncing ball. Ibar waits on it. Throws out Encarnacion.
I tell that to kids all the time when we talk about baseball and hitting. At the major league level, you fail 70% of the time and you're a superstar. What other job can you do that where you fail that many times and still you're considered one of the best at what you do?
Yeah, you'll be a star. They hit 300.
Be a millionaire. So you better learn how to deal with failure because it's tough.
Kelly Johnson rips it into right field. That's his first hit of the night. Comes with 2 outs. Well, that's a great point when you really think about it. And I actually talked to Eric Thames about this probably a month ago. When you think about the significance of 1 at bat, 4 at bats in a game, even 1 week. When you think Dustin Pedroia of the Red Sox leads baseball with 693 plate appearances. What's the big deal about an 0 for 4? But until you gain some experience and can put that into perspective, every out seems like the end of the world.
Yes. And they mount too. You put 2, 3, 4 games in a row without getting a hit, and it's like the weight of the world is on your shoulder.
But then again, 700 plate appearances, what difference does it make if you're 0 for 20 in the overall scheme of things? For the veteran players, it doesn't mean a thing.
It doesn't mean a thing. And you have to get to that spot in your career where you know you're good, you're not going to get a hit all the time, and you're confident enough that you bring your best each and every day.
You've got to be able to clear your mind and just separate each at bat. Brett Lawrie hits it on the ground. Howie Kendrick waits for it. Pinheiro is out of the 5th. Gives up a 2-out single and strands Kelly Johnson. To Jeff Simpson from Banff, Alberta, who answered Eric Hinsky. 24 home runs in 2002. And Jeff, thanks a lot for answering our trivia question for the night. For that, you'll be receiving a J.P. Arencibia autographed baseball. And hang on to that, because chances are he's going to hit 2 more home runs and will establish a new Blue Jays rookie record for home runs.
It was our hint that we gave.
Now Drabek throws a first pitch strike to Peter Borges. Up and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kyle Drabek in his 3rd inning of relief had a good 2nd inning. He had a 1-2-3 5th inning.
Good time for him to get some innings in, I think. Talking with John Farrell, I know, and you mentioned it earlier tonight, that they want to get Kyle a start at some point this season. Just 8 games to go after this one tonight.
Breaking ball. That's a fair ball down the left field line. That'll go into the corner. Borges is around second. He'll stop right there. Nobody out. No reason to force the issue. Another curveball. They've been on some curveballs pretty good since Drabek has come into the game.
It's sharp, but it catches too much of the plate. You see J.P. Arencibia go down thinking that that ball is going to be in the dirt, but it stays up for Borges, who has another extra base hit. He's a triple shy of having double digits in all of those extra base categories.
It's never happened for an Angel. 25 home runs, 25 doubles, 10 triples, 10 homers, and 20+ stolen bases. No Angel has ever accomplished that. He's just a triple shy of doing something no Angel has ever done.
It's impressive. He's made a couple of mechanical adjustments to his swing. His swing's a lot shorter. Starting to pop some extra base hits.
How about that? Last year we saw him play and said, boy, this guy can really play defense. Too bad he can't hit. Now he's become a legitimate hitter.
Dangerous.
In his 2nd season. You combine his ability to put the bat on the ball and then his speed. He becomes a weapon. Alberto Callaspo's had some night. Finds this ball down the left field side. That is a fair ball, and that bounces out of play. Another ground rule double. Callaspo has his 2nd double and picks up his 2nd RBI as Borges comes in to score.
Seems like every time Callaspo hits against the Blue Jays, he has good games. Singled his first time up. He doubled his 2nd time up, hit a sacrifice fly in the 4th, and now drives in another run by taking that ball and just slashing it and somehow keeping it fair down the left field line. Another extra base hit for Callaspo.
Callaspo with 2 doubles tonight now has 8 doubles in his career against the Blue Jays in just 27 games. And he's not what you would call a power hitter, but boy, he hits the Blue Jays well. Howie Kendrick, he's had a couple of hits already tonight. His average at 290. Three and 0. Angels couldn't figure out a way to score in last night's game, and now they score just about any time they want to. And Kendrick will take a walk. And John Farrell has come out of the dugout and he's made the call to the bullpen. It'll be Sean Kemp coming on after the first 3 batters reach base here in the 6th inning against Kyle Drabek. Drabek turns things over to Sean Kemp, who will come out of the bullpen with 2 on and nobody out. Angels up 10-2. Reyes is now into the game. Eric Bedard also started for the Red Sox. He went just 2 2/3. Gave up 5 hits and 4 runs. Only 1 earned run allowed by Bedard.
Sean Camp hasn't pitched in 9 days, but he still leads the club in appearances. You see those 60 games for Sean Camp. He also has 5 holes this year for Toronto. A little bit of a mess right here. 1 run in already, a couple of runners on. Looking for the ground ball.
Torrey Hunter fouls it out of play. Sean Camp trying to figure out a way to get out of this inning. Ground ball right here would be a good start. He's ahead of Hunter.
He certainly can do that. He'll sink his fastball, throw a changeup to try and get those hitters out in front. And when he's had the proper rest, his slider's got a lot of bite to it. Really snap it off. Get a lot of strikeouts.
0-2. Missed outside. Top of the 6th inning. Angels scored 1 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, 5 in the 4th. There's that double play ball. Kelly Johnson to McCord coming across the bag. Back for first double play.
And it was on the slider. Much better numbers against right-handers this year for Sean Camp than left-handers, and he throws that slider down and away to get the double play.
Kelly Johnson with a good throw to second. Watch where McCoy is. He throws the ball right over the bag. McCoy makes a good strong throw to first. Kelly Johnson's done a good job. He has now turned 16 double plays since he's joined this ball club. This is just his 25th game. Aaron Seavey looked like he was expecting a different pitch, and because of that, he's going to go check with Sean Camp.
I agree with you about Kelly Johnson. He looks good at second base. Got good range, very sure hands. Turns a double play. He made a double play the other night that was beautiful.
5th inning with Peter Borges running. Turned a very good double play. Borges can run. And Johnson took the throw from McCoy and turned a great double play.
Quick hands, strong arm.
Big night for Mark Trumbo. Boy, he got a lot of plate coverage, doesn't he? And he's not all about pulling. We've seen him hit balls to the right side of the diamond. He's got another chance to drive in a run just 90 feet away.
Big guys with flat swings. That means power. Trumbo certainly has a flat swing on that follow through, you can see.
On Camp trying to catch that inside corner with that breaking ball.
.36 home runs last year and 122 RBIs in AAA for Mark Trumbo.
Well, that's good coverage right there. He can get a piece of that breaking ball, probably 6 to 8 inches outside. He extends out over that plate and is able to keep the at bat alive. This time he didn't. Camp went just a little bit further outside. What a job by Sean Camp to save the runs for Kyle Drabick. He gets a double play and a strikeout. conversation down at the end of the dugout, and John Farrell comes down to the end of the bench. And it looks like Farrell's saying, you know what, I'm going to give you the rest of the night off and get you off your feet. And it was a great win last night, very emotional high last night, winning in extra innings in their last at bat. And this has been as emotional in the opposite direction tonight. And very disappointing for Jose Bautista. Joe Pinheiro has been good. Pinheiro holding the Blue Jays for just 2 runs on 7 hits.
The way this game has been going, not a bad idea. If Jose does come out of here, he probably would only get 1 more at bat. Get him off his feet. Get a younger player in there to get in at bat. I think he wants to play every inning of every game, and that's the kind of guy he is. Doesn't give an inch to the opposition.
Now, he has a lot of pride, and certainly he doesn't want to bail out on his team and say he's just going to play during the good times. He wants to play all the time. Asmus pops it up. Callaspo over near the wall on the warning track, almost got there, but it bounces out of play.
Boy, that would have been a great play by Callaspo if he could have made that play. How far he had to go on that pop-up. He can play second base if need be, third base. And it was very close. Made it a lot closer than I thought.
Change up downstairs. It's 2-2. Rasmus leading off the bottom of the 6th. It's just high and deep into center field. Borges has room on the track. 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Randall Delgado started that game, went 5 innings and shut out the Marlins on just 5 hits. Anibal Sanchez went 5 innings for the Marlins. He has been taken out. The Braves had a tough loss last night. 2 outs, 2 strikes, ground ball to third. Chipper Jones loses it in the lights, and then Omar Infante. It's a walk-off home run off Craig Kimbrell. J.P. Arancibia gets underneath this. Borges. Boy, he covers a lot of ground, and Vernon Wells got over in front of him, and Wells makes the catch. Borges had called for it, and he's the center fielder.
Yeah, he was waving him off also. That ball hooked right to Wells in left field. You see him call it, I got it, but Wells, the former center fielder, takes over and makes the play. You know, about that Braves game yesterday, the Cardinals were playing the Phillies, and Halladay was pitching, so the Braves were probably thinking, hey, we win this game, there's a good chance that we pick up a game on the Cardinals. Well, it backfired on them. They ended up losing late, and the Cardinals ended up beating Halladay.
Halladay had won 7 straight decisions in September, and he was 9-0 in the month of September with a 1.97 ERA going back his last 10 starts into 2009. And then St. Louis beat him. Berkman hit number 31 off Halladay in the first inning and gave the Cardinals an awful lot of confidence. Kyle Loesch pitched a good game. Lowen breaks his bat. Ball goes to shortstop, and he's thrown out. Another good inning for Joel Pinheiro. 1, 2, 3 in the 6th. It's all Angels here tonight. JaysLive.sportsnet.ca. Live stats and live chats with Shai Davidi and Mike Wilner. That's JaysLive.sportsnet.ca. Log on and check in with Shai and Mike and ask them their thoughts about the Blue Jays and what's going on tonight.
Here comes the third reliever for the Blue Jays tonight. It's Joel Carreño out of the bullpen. 11 2/3 innings this year. Just 10 hits given up. His whip is 1.1, which is excellent. He's got a good arm. Good sinking fastball. He'll throw some sliders. Basically, that's it. The two pitches that he will use. Maybe mixing a changeup every now and then. But a couple of right-handers coming up this inning. So John Farrell wants to get his young right-hander a chance here in the 7th.
Jose Bautista's back in right field, and not sure what the conversation was between the manager and Bautista, but obviously it wasn't about coming out of the game. So Carreño will work the 7th. It'll be Wells, Trout, and Ibar for Los Angeles. We have seen Carreño. He really leans heavily on his slider. And I think now that he's had a couple of innings under his belt in the big leagues, the catchers and coaches have talked to him a little bit more about using that fastball, try to pitch to both sides of the plate.
He's got great confidence in that slider. You're right. That will get around the league. That you start falling in love with that one pitch. Hitters will start sitting on it, looking for it. There it is as he's behind in the count, and he throws it. Establish that fastball. He's got a good moving fastball. I mean, could really eat up right-handers if he places it in the right spot. Seems to be a heavy type of baseball where he can get a lot of ground ball outs.
This is popped up left field. Thames coming in. Wells is retired. That's the first out of the 7th inning. Mike Trout. Trout did not play in last night's game. He came out of the game on Saturday in Baltimore. He was hit by a pitch, did not play Sunday or Monday. So this is his first game back in the lineup since Saturday. Carreño was a starter for the Eastern League champion New Hampshire Fisher Cats. Made 23 starts, went 7-9, but had a very good ERA at 3.41.
And he was a strikeout pitcher when he was in the minor leagues. Probably because he threw a lot of sliders and used it.
Another thing you have to do is kind of evaluate those numbers in the minor leagues. Minor league hitters don't have the discipline that you're going to see in the big leagues. And that slider that he has will get you a lot of strikeouts. He was second in the Eastern League with 152 strikeouts. He's ahead of Trout. Let that breaking ball get away from him.
When we watch some of the young pitchers come up here the last month or two of the season, you like to see their demeanor on the mound, and so far so good with a lot of the youngsters. You also like to see a nice loose arm, and I think Carreño has that.
There's a strikeout. Trout goes after that slider.
In a good spot. Had the breaking ball that backed up on the inside part of the plate. That time puts it on the outside.
What do you mean by a loose arm?
Well, just the way that they throw the ball, how his arm comes through, almost effortless, and the ball really shoots out of his hand. Strong wrists and a very loose arm. Henderson Alvarez has that. Carreño has that. It's almost like they're throwing the ball without any effort.
Dustin McGowan, we've seen that when he goes to the mound since he has rejoined the club. All kind of jumps out of your hand, and you're right, it is a kind of a loose arm image that you get when you see that nice free delivery.
Perez, the left-hander, Luis Perez, has a nice loose arm, and he's got good action on his pitches.
I'll give you a loose arm. How about Mariano Rivera?
I was thinking Mariano Rivera and Pedro Martinez.
Yeah. Oh, he had a great arm for being characterized as a loose arm. 0-2, 2 outs. And by the way, congratulations to Mariano Rivera for setting a new record in all-time saves. He got number 602 yesterday afternoon in New York at Yankee Stadium. And he did it in Rivera fashion. 1-2-3-9. One and two. Cut on and miss. Carreño with a good inning. Couple of strikeouts in a 1-2-3-7. The new Hit a Home Run with Sharp Facebook page. Great opportunities to win some beautiful prizes from Sharp. Joe Pinheiro, with one of his better starts of the season, gets ahead of Mike McCoy to begin the 7th. Lots of baseball action around both leagues. Cleveland beat the White Sox this afternoon. McCoy gets a base hit. His 3rd hit of the night. Yankees, Tampa Bay, 5-0, top of the 6th. Wade Davis started that game. Boston ahead of Baltimore 5-4. Minnesota, Seattle 2-2. Kansas City, Detroit, obviously just kind of sorting things out. Seeing what they can develop later on. Texas, of consequence to this Angel Ball Club there in Oakland. Washington beat Philadelphia in extra innings in game 1, and they lead in the 8th in game 2. Drew Storen for the Nationals picked up his 39th save, in the Atlanta Braves have a 4-0 lead. Pat Tabler's hometown Cincinnati Reds lead 5-2 in Milwaukee, trying to wrap up their division.
Not been a good year for Cincinnati Reds.
It's a very small red machine over there this year.
Yeah. It's a little bicycle this year. Not a machine.
Not a machine, no. Arizona later on against the Pirates. That ball is driven toward left field. It'll get down in front of Vernon Wells. McCoy will go first to third. Thames with a good piece of hitting. Just took that outside pitch and drilled it to left.
That'll cheer him up. Saw him last time after he struck out. He was struggling on the bench, but he'll pick up his 2nd hit. Stays right on top of that baseball. Doesn't try and pull it. Picks up the base hit. He is now 2 for 4. And Mike Scioscia knew something was up even before this inning started. He had his bullpen ready just in case.
Well, Pinheiro hands the ball over to the skipper. It'll be the right-hander Rich Thompson coming out of the bullpen. When we come back, Angels with an 8-run lead. Improve his season record to 7-7. But after the first two reach here in the seventh, the manager Mike Scioscia goes to the bullpen for the Australian Rich Thompson.
ERA under 3 for Thompson in his 41 games this year. He's got a lot of strikeouts. He's got a good overhead curveball slider. He'll split it at times. Also, very good numbers. Just turned 27 in July. And this is his second year in the big leagues. It's a deep bullpen for Mike Scioscia's team.
Jose Bautista trying to keep something going here in the seventh. First pitch strike from Thompson. Mentioned Thompson is from Australia. Seems to be more pitchers from Australia than position players. Grant Balfour, of course, signed with the Oakland A's. Liam Hendricks, pitcher with the Twins. Ball on a strike. Shane Lindsay of the White Sox, he's a relief pitcher. Peter Moylan of the Braves. Josh Spencer, also a left-handed relief pitcher. He's with San Diego right now. Jose Bautista maintaining his lead in the home run race. Curtis Granderson with his 41st yesterday. Top 5 all over 30, and Bautista and Granderson over 40. Trying to make it 43. Good swing.
Looking for 3 quick RBIs.
Bautista has been Bautista for a couple of years now. 2-2, nobody out. Runners at the corners.
Every time we show that bullseye, it seems like Jose comes close to hitting it.
Show it again.
Yeah.
Down and away. Encarnacion on deck. One thing the Blue Jays can do is they can put up crooked numbers. Mike McCoy with his 3rd hit of the night. He stands at third base. Eric Thames, he's 2 for 4. He's singled. He's at first. Encarnacion on deck. Bautista takes the walk. The bases are loaded. The bases are loaded. We're only a grand slam away from awarding a 70-inch Sharp Aquas Quattron TV. To enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. Hey, you never know. Edwin Encarnacion has been in this situation a lot during his homestand. 5 times he's hit with the bases loaded.
One time was a big one against Boston.
This time he drives it to left, but not that deep. McCoy is tagging at third. Wells makes the catch. The throw will go to third. McCoy comes in to score. Encarnacion got under it a bit and popped it to left, but he picks up an RBI on the sac fly.
I don't know if he got that one off the end of the bat. Remember, he took a swing earlier in the homestand and his shoulder was sore a little bit. Right now, it looks like he's grimacing a little bit. Watch him after he hits it off the end of the bat. And he looks down at his hand and kind of shakes his hand like he stung it.
Like he might have hit it off the end of the bat, but he got enough of it to drive it to left and chase home Mike McCoy. But now there's one out. Thames at second, Bautista at first. First pitch strike to Kelly Johnson. That one just barely made the dirt. Mitch Thompson got way out in front of that hard breaking ball.
We showed Edwin Encarnacion pointing to where he hit it off the end of the bat, and that's where your fingers feel it. They used to say your hand feels like you're holding a bunch of bees.
Another ball down. 10-3 Angels lead in the bottom of the 7th inning. Mike Scioscia trying to keep their hopes alive of closing in on the West race and also the American League wild card race. Texas plays later on tonight. The start of play, the Angels trail the Rangers by 5. And they are actually closer in the wild card race at the start of play. There's the West standings.
Bobby Abreu was talking about that the other day, that the Rangers are playing on the East Coast and the Angels are on the East Coast, the Rangers are on the West Coast, that if they win their game before the Rangers take the field, it feels like it puts a little bit more pressure on the Rangers before they start.
And the opposite is true. If they lose, then of course the Rangers know they've got a little leeway.
Lay a little loose.
Mike Scioscia said we have to worry about one thing, and that's winning games. We're too far back to worry about anything else. Kelly Johnson pulls it foul. Rich Thompson in his first inning of work came in with 2 on and nobody out. Retired Edwin Encarnacion on a sac fly. He walked Bautista. Thames singled off of Pinheiro. He's at second. Out in front of that fastball. Fouled it off at the plate. "50 years of Angel baseball." This is the 50th anniversary. They came to Los Angeles in 1961. Base hit. Bautista had to hold up. Thames comes around third. He'll score. Bautista will go first to third. Kelly Johnson gets his second hit of the night and his first RBI. You never know.
You never know. Just keep tacking it on, keep that line moving until you get that tying run to the plate. Willie Johnson's going to pull this 3-2 pitch right by Bautista, the runner at first base. He's got to wait to let it go through, but it's hit hard enough, and it makes Mike Trout, the right fielder, move enough that he can coast into third base, go first to third.
Mike Butcher on the horn down to the bullpen. Bautista would have been so easy just to say, well, I had to wait for the ball to go and end up at second, but he goes all the way first to third to keep the pressure on the Angels. Kelly Johnson, his second hit of the night. He's been on base 3 times. Butcher now out to talk to Rich Thompson. Thompson walked the first batter he faced, then gave up a sac fly to Encarnacion. Now a single to Kelly Johnson.
And that single by Johnson closes the books on Pinheiro. He'll be charged with 4 runs on 9 hits, a couple of walks, and 3 strikeouts, but still in line for his 7th win.
Brett Gloria is 1 for 3. Keep the line moving here. That's the Blue Jays theme right now. Just keep the pressure on Rich Thompson.
Make him make pitches, and if he doesn't, then make him pay for it.
Left-hander Horacio Ramirez, the veteran, down in the bullpen, loosening up. Gloved by Callaspo, goes to second for 1. No chance to get Laurie. Bautista comes in to score. Boy, Callaspo, what a play he made, taking extra bases away from Brett Laurie.
Boy, not only with the bat is he having a fine game, but now with his glove. That looked like RBI double, 1 run, maybe 2, as he smokes that hanger down third base. Callaspo leaves his feet, snares it, and then tries to start the 5-4-3 double play. Bautista scores on it, as he had to hold up for just a second to make sure that Callaspo didn't catch that one on a fly.
Harvey Erasmus goes after that first pitch. (10-5) game. Rasmus knocks one out of the ballpark. It becomes very interesting.
Get to within 3. And it makes that play by Callaspo even more important.
0-2.
What a play.
Good player. Switch hitter, does a lot of things to help your team, making his 118th start at third base. 0-2, 2 outs. Curveball. Thompson gets out of it. Blue Jays get to him. 2 of those 3 runs will be charged to Joel Pinheiro, but he's still in line for the win. 4 earned runs. He gave up 9 hits. One couple struck out. 3 overall for the night. Not a bad outing. Threw 104 pitches, and a couple of his runs scored after he left the ball game.
Yeah, at least 6 innings now in 4 of his last 5 starts for the Angels, giving them a good option after the big 3.
Number 9 hitter Bobby Wilson. Joel Carreño in his 2nd inning of work. Had a 1-2-3 7th inning. He struck out a pair of batters. Carreño has the confidence in his slider like most pitchers have in their fastball. Feels like he can throw for a strike anytime he wants to.
Anytime. Ahead of the count, behind in the count, first pitch of an at bat, and he might just keep going to it. Remember Luis Peachy de Leon from San Diego? Loose arm.
Yeah.
Threw a lot of sliders.
Peachy de Leon. I remember him. Yep.
That's who Carreño is starting to remind me of, that he's not afraid to throw a slider anytime.
Trying to throw that fastball too hard. You're right about him being confident. I mean, he is very engaging. Always looks up, looks you in the eye, extends a hand. How you doing today? A lot of personality. Kind of a quiet guy, but he's confident. You can tell he's confident. Peel down to first. Ted Barrett said Wilson went too far. Another strikeout. We'll be right back here at Rogers Center tomorrow night. It'll be game 3 of a 4-game series as the Blue Jays are wrapping up the home portion of their schedule. Pre-game show starts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's 3:30 p.m. Pacific. That's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. They'll set things up for the game. Dustin McGowan will go to the mound, and he will start the ball game. That's tomorrow night right here at Rogers Center. McGowan will be opposed by Dan Herron. Peter Borges, little looper into center. That's going to get down in front of Colby Rasmus. Borges a 3-hit night. Peter Borges has put together a pretty good stroke. They're not trying to do too much. He's got 11 home runs, so he's got some pop in his bat. But his game is getting on base using his speed.
Yeah. Hit line drives. Flatten his bat out just a little bit. Shorten his swing, it looks like. Also.
Carreño makes him dive back into first. Borges has 21 steals. Peter Borges' father, Chris Borges, was a longtime scout with the Blue Jays. He's still scouting. I believe he's currently with the Baltimore Orioles, but his father was part of that great scouting corps that had Gillick put together under the watchful eye of Bob Engel.
You know they're good scouts when they go to other organizations, and all of a sudden those organizations now are signing all the good players. Bob Engel comes to mind when Pat Gillick took him out to Seattle.
Gord Lakey is with the Phillies. Chris Borges with the Cincinnati Reds. Tim Wilkin with the Chicago Cubs. Blue Jay scouts all over the place in prominent positions. Breaking ball catches the outside corner. Callaspo's had a perfect night at the plate. He singled, doubled, hit a sac fly, and doubled again. He scored a run and driven in 2. There goes Borges. Hit on the ground towards second. Johnson has to go to first to retire Callaspo. That's the first time he has been retired tonight.
Angels play hit and run to try to get some more tack-on runs to counter what the Blue Jays did last half inning. Callaspo sacrifices himself by getting the ball on the ground. Took a gamble that it was going to be Kelly Johnson covering second base on that hit and run.
Well, you wouldn't think it would be Johnson giving all the sliders that Callaspo throws. You would expect the ball to be pulled on the right side of the infield. One ball, no strikes. Howie Kendrick pops it up. Bautista with a long run. He'll get there and make the out. Bautista saves a run. It's 10-5 Angels. Now it's time for a Jays Connected update. Here's Jamie Campbell, Greg Zahn from the Blackberry Broadcast Studio right here at Rogers Center. Improved the most in his game this season, and why? Mr. Tapman, I'll give you the first shot at this.
Well, I think Ricky Romero. I think Romero was the ace of the staff, but then about halfway through the season, it just seems like he took his game to the next level. He started commanding his fastball just a little bit more. He learned a little something about himself, and now I think he has put himself in an elite class of left-handers in the American League. How about yourself?
That's a good argument, and I'll kind of lean with that, but I'm going to throw out Casey Janssen. I think Casey Janssen has taken the next step to become an integral part of the bullpen for next year. I think he has proven that he can get left-handers out. You can use him in any situation. He's a strike thrower. He is currently on a streak of 20 games in which he hasn't allowed more than one earned run. He's allowed one earned run in his last 23 in the third innings.
And he throws strikes. Remember when the season started, who the eighth inning guy was? No. There's my point. Who's it now?
Yeah, it's definitely Casey Janssen.
Yeah.
And there have been a lot of things that have changed in the bullpen, of course. Some veteran arms have been moved out of the pen. Aaron Sebia hit it hard, but you can't get anything past Alberto Callaspo here tonight. One out in the eighth. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Well, that's one thing that has plagued Tampa Bay all year long, is their inability to really come back from deficits. They don't have that type of offense, much like the Angels. Bobby Cassava pitched in the game last night. He pitched 2/3 of an inning. He came in to get out of the eighth inning, got a fielder's choice and a ground out to the first baseman. Adam Lowen pops it up. Callaspo near the railing makes the catch. Gallaspa's had some night. You mentioned a great play he made, robbing Brett Lawrie of an extra base hit.
He was with Kansas City a couple of years ago, and I got a chance to see him for the first time, and I'm like, wow, that's a name I'm going to have to remember. He did the same thing in a series. Got a lot of base hits, played great defense. And then next thing I know, he gets traded to the Angels. And he just keeps doing good things against the Blue Jays. He's a good player.
Plus the fact that he's a switch hitter.
Yep.
That's an intriguing aspect of his game that is appealing to a lot of managers. Mike McCoy with his second 3-hit game of the homestand, second of the season, third career 3-hit game. Daniel Farquhar loosening up, side armor. McCoy has never had a 4-hit game. There's an opportunity to do that right here. He's 3 for 4 this evening.
Looks comfortable at the plate, and that's what playing day in and day out will do. You start getting your timing down, start tracking the ball just a little bit better. Got a double to left center field, a couple of base hits. Hit the ball hard.
Get up the middle. Ibar quickly. What a play. Man, oh man. He took a hit away from Mike McCoy, showing great range and a strong arm. We'll go to the ninth. It's 10-5 Angels. Now it's time for a connected preview. Here's Martin Geyer. Watch the Jays live from anywhere, online or on the go at RogersOnDemand.com.
Mark Trumbo came into this game with 28 home runs. This puts the finishing touches on a 5-run 4th inning as Trumbo unloads his 29th home run, a 3-run home run to push the lead at the time then to 9-2 as the Angels busted open in the 4th inning.
For RBI for Mark Trumbo here tonight. That home run number 29. Daniel Farquhar makes his second big league appearance. He made his major league debut at Fenway Park on the 13th of September. At just 2/3 of an inning, was charged with 3 earned runs. There are his numbers between Sacramento and Las Vegas. Farquhar was originally drafted by the Blue Jays in June of 2008. He was part of a trade with Tristan Magnuson for Rajay Davis to Oakland. Blue Jays reacquired Farquhar in a deal that sent David Percy, the left-hander, out to the A's. And Farquhar pitched most of the season at AAA Las Vegas.
14 for 17 in saves this year. Can be tough on the right-handers with that motion. Comes from down under. Sure, that can make you uncomfortable if you're a right-handed hitter at the plate. You've never faced him before. You don't know what type of breaking ball he has, or if that ball runs in on you.
Torrey Hunter stays on it and drives it into right. Pitch was up and he just went the other way, not knowing an awful lot about Farquhar. Didn't try to do too much.
Stayed right on, a single to right field in that 4-run inning. Same type of pitch, same type of result. Stayed right on top of that one. He's been on base 3 times tonight.
Mark Trumbo, the first baseman. First pitch strike. Trumbo with 4 RBI. Bounces this ball towards second. Johnson goes to the bag, steps on the bag, goes to first. Trumbo is doubled up. Johnson, that ball took him right to second, and Farquhar benefits from the ground ball.
Taylor made right to him. Catches about chest high. When you've got a pitcher that comes from the sidearm like that, if you can get the ball down, get those good sinking fastballs, you'll get the ground ball.
Vernon Wells. Wells has homered and doubled. He's driven into. First pitch strike. Another bouncing ball. McCoy comes after it. Big hop. Wells is retired. Good inning for Daniel Farquhar. His second big league inning goes much better than his first. Blue Jays trail by 5, bottom of the ninth. Rogers Sportsnet will be connected on Eastern Ontario. How about NHL hockey exhibition season is underway? The Flames versus the Canucks. That will be on West and Pacific. National Hockey League regional restrictions may apply. So a little bit of Sportsnet connected and some hockey following this ball game. Beautiful view of the Rogers Center. New pitcher is Garrett Richards, activated from the DL September 4th. He missed 18 games with a strained right abductor.
Made a couple of starts this year for the Angels. Richards, he's been in 4 games, 2 starts, 7 innings. Throws hard. Mike Scioscia was talking to us about him the last time we were in town when we were talking about their pitching staff. He says, I've got a couple of young kids who are going to be really good, but they're young. First year in the big leagues. They just don't know how to command their fastball yet or some of their other pitches. Richards was one of those pitchers. He's 6'3", 215, throws hard. Was a starter in the minor leagues all the way through.
He's just 23 years old. He was called up the first time from AA Arkansas. Picked up a 12-2 record with the AA ball club. And he's the first Angels pitcher since 2005 to be called up from AA. Irvin Santana was the last AA pitcher to be summoned to the big leagues. Garrett Richards set to work the ninth. Thames, Bautista, and Encarnacion. Good fastball at the knees, down and away. Thames average up to 267 with 2 hits tonight. I think overall, when he gets home and takes a little time off and looks back at his rookie season, he'll be pleased.
Just a year ago, he was finishing up in AA. Think about that, where he has come from in just a year. He was facing AA pitching, minor league ballparks, bus rides, the whole thing, and now he has, this is his 330th at bat in the big leagues just a year later. I think he's learned a lot about himself.
Callaspo can't throw him out, but he can catch it. Man, oh man, has he had a night in the field. Thames has a good night at the plate, his 3rd hit tonight.
Sandwiched around a couple of strikeouts, reaches out and just clubs it. Looked like it was going to be extra bases once again, but the great range by Callaspo flags it down and can't make the play.
Jose Bautista, he's hitless in 3 at-bats.
This guy looks like he's got a good arm.
He's got a loose arm. Ball jumps out of his hand.
Yeah, long arm. He's got good movement on his pitches.
Thames with a 3-hit night tonight. That's the 5th time this season Eric Thames has had a 3-hit night. His career high is 4 hits. That came against the Orioles in Baltimore on the 31st of August. Two balls and a strike, nobody out. Pretty good fastball, looks pretty straight, down and away. Got it in a good spot.
Seen some 95s and some 96 now. As soon as he learns to command it, throw it where he wants to, when he wants to, he's going to be a big winner. You mentioned the 12-2 record in AA this year. 15-6 coming into this year in the minor leagues.
He strikes out Jose Bautista. That's the first out in the bottom of the ninth. Edwin Encarnacion, the first baseman tonight. Adam Lind is expected to be back at first base tomorrow night in the lineup against Dan Herron. Brian Runge said Encarnacion went too far, and Encarnacion said, why don't you ask for help?
And he said, well, I saw it. I saw that you had gone around. It's a tight slider. And it's a late breaking slider, too.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Kind of checked it pretty effectively. 0-2, 1 out. Bigger breaking slider there. Encarnacion strikes out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Richards. Kelly Johnson with a pair of hits. He's also walked. He's reached base 3 times tonight.
What do you think of Mike Scioscia's scouting report on his young pitcher?
Pretty right on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just 23 years old.
He was telling us that he's got a big arm. And his first taste of the big leagues this year. Made his major league debut on August the 10th. After a very successful minor league career, 27-8 over the last few years.
Thames was on the move, and this should do it. Gets away from Trumbo. And there's nobody at home, and Thames is going to come in to score, and the Angels are throwing it around a bit. Eric Thames saw nobody had covered home. And he took a gamble and aggressively ran with his head up. Ball was thrown behind Mark Trumbo, the first baseman. He got a piece of it. There goes Thames on the pitch.
Howie Kendricks had a rough night defensively. The throw is up the line. You can see how Trumbo had locked himself up. And that allows Thames to come all the way around to score. Heads up baseball by Thames.
Once he was there in a foot race with the third baseman, he correctly judged that he could beat him to home. It's an error on Trumbo, the first baseman. And the Angels, boy, they have kicked it around. That 5-run fourth inning is really the big sticking point in this ball game. John Farrell had a inkling that his club was going to get back in it, so he went to the bullpen, hopeful of Kyle Drabek hoping to calm things down. But the Angels scored 5 runs in that fourth inning off Drabek. Brett Lorry. There goes Johnson, and he will go to second on defensive indifference. It's a 10-6 ball game. Blue Jays now have 11 hits. They actually had a 2-1 lead going into the top of the third. Breaking ball down.
And with that error, that gets their closer, Jordan Walden, up. Because if Laurie singles Johnson, it's a save opportunity. That's him on the left, Jordan Walden.
Scott Downs, the left-hander, the losing pitcher in last night's game, has joined Walden. Fred Laurie pops it up. That'll reach the seats and go out of play. We are in the bottom of the ninth. The Blue Jays down to their final out. Garrett Richards, the 23-year-old, came in here in the ninth inning. Kelly Johnson with his 2-hit night, and he's been on base all 4 out of 5 times tonight. Good eye. Laurie lays off that breaking ball. Kobe Rasmus on deck. He doubled in his first at bat. And after that high pitch, but with a full count, you can't take anything close.
You can't hope that they call it a ball. If you think it's a strike, you got to let it go. And he was able to get on top of it.
Three and two, 2 outs. Johnson at second. Laurie takes the walk. Kobe Rasmus will walk to the plate, and Mike Scioscia has already made the call. He wants the left-hander, Scott Downs. Doesn't want this thing to go any further. So Laurie reaches. There are 2 on and 2 outs. And the Jays still down by 4. When we come back, Colby Erasmus against Scott Downs. Colby Rasmus what he knows about Scott Downs. Downs was the losing pitcher in last night's game. He gave up that fielder's choice that then knocked home Mike McCoy in the bottom of the 10th. Downs working an inning and 2/3 in that ballgame.
He's had a great year. 125 earned run average, 56 games. Look at that whip, under 1. That's less than 1 base runner per inning. He's always under control. He has an idea of what he wants to do. He'll sweep his breaking ball to left-handers. He'll cut his fastball in on his hands. He can control all of his pitches. He's just had a great year for the Angels.
He really does a great job of keeping the ball down in the zone. He will start down and work lower.
And then pick at the corner. and then just a little bit further away, and then just a little bit further. You start leaning out over the plate, he'll run that little cut fastball in on your hands and jam you. I mean, he knows what he wants to do. That's why he's calling timeout, and he's going to bring Wilson out to the mound.
Wants to make sure that Bobby Wilson understands how he's going to attack Colby Rasmus. J.P. Arancibia on deck represents the tying run. Perfect breaking ball. It's 0-2. Blue Jays are down to their last strike.
Sweeps that ball, and he's always around the plate. Very rarely does he hang that breaking ball to left-handers.
And he strikes him out. Another breaking ball in the dirt. Scott Downs took the loss last night. He comes in to end the ball game. Alberto Callaspo with a good night. Vernon Wells had a home run tonight. Peter Borges with a 3-hit night. He scored a couple of runs. And Mark Trumbo one off his career high with 4 RBI.
Plenty of offense tonight by the Angels. 15 hits and double digits in run score. Bullpen does the job as it takes 4 relievers to finish it out for Mike Scioscia's team tonight.
Teams have split the first 2 games in this 4-game series. Stay tuned for Connected East and Ontario. More hockey, West and Pacific. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow night.